Everybody here, so if I could have your attention. My name is T.R. Harrington. I'm the co-program director here at Orbit Startups, and we are super excited to welcome you to Orbit 2 Demo Day. Today we have 5 global startups coming to you from Singapore, India, Bangladesh, and Nigeria. And our founders are very experienced, with over 4 founders with prior exits. To date, these founders have achieved almost $2 million in sales, with some of those startups growing at 40% month on month. Now, before we get to the startups, William Balbine is going to tell us a little bit about the Orbit ecosystem and our fund SOSV. But prior to that, we're going to have our VC VIP panel come up here. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome our panel up here, and we're going to set up some chairs.
Right. Whoa. Thanks so much. So super psyched to have our first in-person demo day in Singapore since February 2020. So hopefully there'll be many more, and we don't get like I don't know, the next variant that makes us go crawl back into our homes. Right. So super happy to have Ron and Gwendolyn here. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So Gwendolyn, kick off.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, William, and the rest of the Orbit team. My name is Gwen. I see so many familiar faces here. Hi. I'm investment director at BNB Chain. So BNB Chain is the largest Web3 the first billion users into blockchain and crypto. My previous life has always been in technology and media, wearing several hats of founder, entrepreneur, global market expansion, so operator, investor. And today I'm excited to talk more about everything from building to investing to the current markets, you know, more building and more signal, less noise in this market, which is great. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So Ron, recent transplant. No?
Sort of, I guess, sort of. So I'm Ron Cao. So I run Sky9 Capital. We're a venture capital firm. William and I haven't seen 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, COVID.
So I read about all this great stuff, great postings on Instagram. Orbit. There's a delay. If it's on the chain, it wouldn't happen. It's I've been living here for 6 years, believe it or not. Yeah, living in Singapore for 6 years.
Throughout COVID as well.
What?
Throughout COVID.
Well, in COVID, I kind of hide out here, because my most of my team members in China. So I it's hard to tell where I am during COVID, but I hide out here. Most of my work is in China for the last, let's say, 18 years, investing in technology, internet, consumer, gaming, fintech in China. And over the years, we have, you do transition as an investor, as you're aware. We're very active in Web3. We have a good relationship with Binance and
BNB Chain.
And BNB Chain. It's the right chain to back. We do quite a bit of work now in biotech. We're doing internet infrastructure and semiconductors, really across the board. We set up an office now in Singapore. We have 2 people now here, but most of our folks are in Beijing, Shanghai. We have a person in San Francisco. I think one trend that's really interesting is we're seeing entrepreneurs being more global. I think that is the trend we're betting on. And I think in the U.S., entrepreneurs tend to be more very U.S. centric. I think in Asia, we tend to go after the global market. So we want to be there to support our global entrepreneurs with offices in multiple cities. We're on our 5th set of funds. The current fund is around $700 million. Early in the fund cycle, we're ready to deploy capital. Typically, early stage, about 1 million, 2 million, more growth stage, maybe 15 to 20 million.
Awesome. Thanks. So trends, the last 3 or 4 months have been really, really exciting.
You mean?
Yeah. So for us, we in Q3, we're the number 2 most active VC in the world because we continue to invest. We're a big proponent of buy low, sell high. And at the early stage, we can be quite active. We've actually been waiting for this downturn for a while because our check size is so small and our ownership requirement is so high that when things get, a bubble, you could say, we get priced out of the market. But for you, Gwen, like what are you seeing in the last 3 months? What do you think if you have to look at your crystal ball, what's going to happen in the next 3-6 months, and where should people be positioned?
Well, we're already seeing the contagion spreading, right? So I think that's obvious. And what's also equally obvious is that a lot of companies will die, but that is actually was predicted, or we've been expecting this downturn. We've been expecting consolidation. We didn't expect, I think this, in my opinion, Black Swan event, but we'll see more people die. So I think for projects and companies who are positioned well to ride the next potentially 1.5 years with runway, you should be prepared to start hiring. So recruiting over the next few months, I think, would be very, very interesting, both from all the layoffs of from big tech and Web2 big tech, as well as the upcoming, death of the protocols in Web3.
Awesome, Ron. What do you think is going on? We were chatting about it outside, so great if you can share.
What is going on? What's really going on, right? That's we've been doing this for a long time, and it's I think CZ, your fearless leader, is a good example of a type of entrepreneur. I mean, that someone should follow. Really, fearless, really going after something he believed in, and really be able to have a survival instinct. How to survive through cycles. I think if you're a young entrepreneur today, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on out there, but I think Web3 is a good area to devote some time. It's despite all the issues, this is a real sector, real phenomena, and this is a perfect timing, really, because of all the issues. I mean, otherwise, there's really no opportunity. I think that's one area we like. Another area we like quite a bit is really around software infrastructure. I mean, if you look at developers around the world, there's about 27 million developers, super majority are in Asia, in China, Southeast Asia. You're just as good as developers in Silicon Valley. That's the fact. Can you build something for yourselves? Can you build something for a world's market? Is something we're exploring with various talents. I think that's a good area. We spend a lot of time in hardware and also biotech, but that requires a lot of expertise. So if you're, those are amazing areas to go after, but you would need to assemble teams and build expertise. So, but it's a good time to build, but be ready for 5 to 10 years of hard work at least.
Maybe William, I can add on a little bit more from the trend side of things, from more what we're seeing at BNB Chain, right? So at BNB Chain, we're again core Web3 blockchain infrastructure. And a lot of projects we're seeing right now are super interested in building up the base infrastructure of blockchain in general. So we love a lot of core infra, software tooling, dev tooling, because as Ron said, there's so many developers out there. We are trying to get more Web2 developers to develop in Web3, right? So we're looking for people who are thinking about usability, so UI, UX, and building tools that enable other developers to build better projects in Web3 and just, better user onboarding. We are seeing, of course, as usual, a lot of applications as well across different spaces. We're seeing a lot of music projects trying to disrupt and give a lot more power back to the creators, enabling the fans to kind of partake in the success and journeys of their favorite artists as well. So a lot of different use cases that's really been arising. And a lot of them actually really touch kind of all sides of the market, including many retail use cases / mass crypto adoption potential.
Awesome. So Gwen, can you give an example of what's a project that you or a startup or a company that you recently got involved with that you're excited about, and what made you excited?
So many, where to start? I'll use the music example first, and I'll give another one shortly after. So Corite, Corite, is a music project that allows musicians to crowdfund their next upcoming album with their fans. So in the traditional world, it typically takes a lot of money to produce albums, right? They raise a lot of money, publishers all come in. But now musicians can go direct. So one of the key artists that Corite worked with was Alan Walker. So Alan Walker, if I play his song right now, Faded, most of you would understand it, would recognize it. So Alan Walker is one of the world's most famous DJs. And he, through Corite, managed to get 3,000 of his fans contributing like resources, money, as well as music stems in this particular case, to kind of create like a promo video, and so that Alan Walker could again crowdfund his upcoming album Unity with his fans. So this is extremely exciting, right? So a platform is cut out, right? And again, they'll be able to enable their fans to feel direct involvement and be directly involved with the album. So that's one. Another project I'm very, very excited about is Wincast.io. So this is a project that we invested in 1 year ago, and it combines NFT and live sports. So imagine now it's a World Cup, right? Imagine you're watching the World Cup on your laptop, and there's a penalty kick, right? And the penalty kick may be a beautiful goal or maybe fail, whatever it is. Imagine if you can live bid on your laptop for a potential NFT of that final goal. So like on the screen, right? So if this becomes a very like unique goal, whatever, this NFT in the future could be worth a lot of money. So what's amazing about Wincast is that it combines NFTs, which we all know here, we've all heard a lot about, which a lot of like legal IP potential. It's a revolution in terms of that right now. And yeah, coming up soon. So that's another one that I'm super excited.
They should check out Videoverse. So Videoverse works with ESPN and all those sports teams.
I will check it out. Thank you.
Yeah. They auto edit every single clip. So they remove the need for post-production for all sporting events. So every single clip is done live and blasted out to the world live. So they signed Premier League, Bundesliga, the Olympics. They signed Wimbledon, Champions League, etc.
Basically live video editing, so to speak, behind the scenes.
AI-driven live video editing in real time without the content ever leaving the servers of the owner.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool. So Ron, what have you been up to? What's exciting?
Well, we've been pretty active, multiple spaces. The few recent deals, one is in biotech, experts in genetics that's able to show in animals you can regenerate nerves, which is very difficult. So Alzheimer's and glaucoma, various very difficult diseases can be potentially treated. This is a cross-border team in China, team in the US. On the software side, we seeded a deal that's kind of like it's a collaboration platform that allows brands, especially electronics makers in China, that's always trying to come up with new products, but allow them to have a platform where potentially their users can help them, give them ideas, or designers who are not part of your firm can be contributing to new ideas and really sort of outsource the design work to the market, and has the whole workflow to kind of be ahead of the curve in terms of design. So it's a cross-border team, cross-border product, huge market. So sort of flows into the sort of the online collaboration space. We're also thinking about some new ideas in Web3, around decentralized exchanges, around cross-chain type of protocols, cross-chain type of applications, around security, and also maybe around Aptos, some of the new layer ones. not as good, but as BNB, but they also have very good momentum. These are new opportunities we're exploring to whether incubate or fund early startups.
Okay, awesome. So let's give a big round of applause for our amazing VC panel. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. So Gwen, Ron, have a seat.
Thank you, William.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much again to Gwen, Ron, for being here, for sharing some of your insights and trends about what's happening. Next up, we're going to have William come up and share a little bit about the Orbit ecosystem and our fund SOSV. Over to you, William.
Thanks. So rebranding is never easy. We just had to rip off the Band-Aid. So welcome to Orbit Startups. It's a combination of MOX and China Accelerator, the first startup program in all of Asia. So we're very much global. So we're no longer focused on just geographies, just China or just Asia, but our portfolio companies are all around the world. So we have Hacks for hardware, Indie Bio for biotech, and then Orbit is internet and software. And we are SOSV with 1.5 billion in assets under management. Our offices are all around the world, and we're increasingly opening up. Hopefully someday we can have one here. But we're Shanghai, Taipei, Delhi, and KL right now across Asia. So in terms of activity, we invest early stage in a large number of companies. So we're the most active early stage VC in the world. And again, that's spread globally. It's a little hard to track because a lot of our US companies are actually global companies. They're just domiciled. For example, we're the number 3 most active VC in Singapore, but a lot of our companies in Singapore are actually operating across the region. Some fun facts, we're the most active VC in Pakistan, very active across Southeast Asia. Singapore went from 6 to 3, and continuing to expand. In terms of sectors, we're really focused on 3 mega trends, right? One is economic independence. So consumers are using technology in frontier and emerging markets to really change our lives. We're taking what we learned in India and in Indonesia and in China, where hundreds of millions of people use technology to come out of poverty, and grant them or give them that opportunity for economic independence. The problem is that in some of these countries, they destroyed the environment in the process. So how do you help people come out of poverty without screwing up the economy? The third thing is that a lot of people ended up with lifestyle diseases when they came out of poverty. They basically went from a vegetable diet to a really heavy fat diet. And so we're focused on not just economic independence, planetary health, but also human health. So where does that come in? Well, it comes in food tech, it comes in hardware, it comes in AI and supply chain, and it comes in health tech. As I mentioned earlier, it's all about, buy low, sell high. So as of Q3, we're the number 2 most active VC in the world, up from number 4 last year. We write small checks, and we take relatively a lot of equity. So we invest, usually our first check is $150,000. The reason why people work with us, the startups work with us, is we provide those core kind of program services. So the mentors, many of whom are here today, thank you so much. We have growth, data-driven decision-making. So we're really about traction first, fundraising later. And then of course, we help with fundraising. So thank you all for being at Orbit 2 Demo Day. We could not do it without our mentors. These are volunteers. They have messed up many things and succeeded at least one thing. And we really appreciate people like, Han being an amazing mentor. Thanks. So above and beyond that program, we had to differentiate. We had to change. VCs invest in innovation, but we're really focused on innovating VC. So we have a 14-person enterprise sales force that helps our startups sell into our corporate partners. So Unilever, J&J, AB InBev, Nestle, P&G, we're doing pilots and POCs And 2 out of those 5 actually invested in our fund. We have 27 multinationals that invested in our fund. So think about it like a one-stop shop for partnerships and sales into large corporates around the world. The second thing, and this is pretty unique, is we tried to copy from China to the rest of the world. So Xiaomi, most people think it's a hardware company, but it's actually an internet company disguised as a hardware company. They give away their phones for a 0 to 5% gross profit margin. But for every phone that they sell, they make $300 in internet revenue. So again, it's an internet company disguised as a hardware play. So for us, we didn't have a few $100 million to start our own handset brand, but we went to our corporate partners and partnered with them and connect startups, consumer startups with our corporate partners, such that our startups get free customer acquisition, free user acquisition. So as you know, 62% of all VC money goes to customer acquisition, user acquisition, marketing. And our goal is to replace the need for that funding capital and have CAC 0. So far, we've invested $51 million in Orbit startups. Since then, we've helped our companies raise follow-on funding of $716 million. And we helped our companies with basically a CAC 0 scale to 143 million monthly active users. And those are, for the most part, unique. We couldn't do it without our partners. So a lot of these companies here are the companies that give that free user acquisition to our startups. And they don't do it for free forever. Our corporate partners in return get engagement and they get lifetime revenue share back, right? So promotion for revenue share. Sometimes we call it SaaS, super app as a service. Yeah. So we have a very large portfolio, over 220 active portfolio companies, and we're going to introduce a few of the new ones here today at Demo Day. Before we do that, I'll just point out 3 of them. So Boost Capital helps banks and non-banking financial institutions launch very quickly a microloan service, right? So you, without any app, without any download, you can enable a bank to immediately give a microloan to a farmer or a small business person. So they've signed 1 regional bank, they've signed 1 wallet, and they're already launched. They grew 4x in the last 4 quarters, and looking to expand from their first market across to many markets. So check out Boost Capital. They're raising a seed round now. The second one is Kootloot. So we're all about taking what we learned in China and other markets and bringing it to the rest of the world. So India doesn't really have a Taobao. So we brought our investment into Kootloot and brought expertise from China to India to create a marketplace where we enable market sellers, small sellers, SMEs, basically anyone to start selling online for the first time. They have over 800,000 sellers doing about 10 million monthly GMV. And the revenues, net revenue, gross profit has basically tripled in the last 4 months because we're helping these market sellers not just sell their own products, but also giving them the supply. And that extra supply really juices up the margin. So Kootloot Series A was led by a bunch of ex-Alibaba folks from China, and we're looking at Series B. And last but not least, in the metaverse and Web3, one of the biggest problems is creators. Creators have been ill-used by big internet for a very long time. They bring fans, they bring engagement, but they get paid pretty much nothing, right? So how do you help a creator make money? During COVID, it was even worse because all the live concerts went away. So Zebra is a platform that partners with big celebrities and creates a digital avatar of that celebrity, and then manages and runs that avatar. So as Warren Buffett says, the celebrity for the first time can make money while they sleep. This celebrity can perform in online concerts, inside of video games, appear in TV shows, and they can sell online. They can do just about everything. The first one was launched inside of China with Da Zhangwei, and the avatar is actually called Zuki. When they launched the first 5 days, he had 30 million views with no spend. Now that the avatar has 150,000 followers, we're launching our second one in December. And Tim, whose last name I cannot remember, who won an Oscar for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, will be managing that team for that second avatar. So if you have if you want to bring celebrity avatars into your ecosystem, please let us know. And outside of China, of course, we can do fun things like celebrity NFTs. So with that, I'm going to kick it back to TR. Thank you so much for being here.
All right. Thank you again, William. And again, to our VC panel. Now it's time to meet the startups. Now I've got one logistic thing to get out of the way before you do so. So please, if you are in the room and you are an investor, scan one of the QR codes up there on the wall, okay, so that you can give a response about your interest in some of the startups that are about to come through. All right. And those of you online, if you are an investor online, you should see a pop-up at the end of each one of the demo day pitches. Again, please indicate your interest. That's why we're here. Okay, so without further ado, it is time to get to our startups. So I'd like to welcome to the floor our first startup, Frio Shop.
Thank you, everyone. Meet Rohim. Rohim lives in Dhaka, the second largest city in our country. He runs a small retail shop in Green Road, which is the most populated area in Dhaka. Every day he caters 150 customers, but it's not too easy to fulfill everyone's demand. Every day he faces same problem, that is sells out, and his customer move to his next competing store. And restocking is not easy as it seems. Every time he need to go wholesale market by losing his working hour, it takes 2 hours to go, 2 hours to back, and 4 hours deal with multiple suppliers. He used local transport, which also costly. It takes $3 to $5. In the meantime, Rohim's shop is closed for 8 hours. It's not a single day story. In every month, he needs to restock 6 times because he has limited capital, limited shelf, so he would not be able to hold inventory for 5 days. In this inefficient process, he losing 1,000 USD per month. We are Frio Shop, a B2B marketplace that enables small retailers connect supplier and distributor directly, access to their all catalogs, can place order easily, and pay on delivery, and also get access to trade financing. So let me show how it's work. Rohim download our app from Google Play Store, register himself. It's native language, so he easily can understand and navigate. Browse SKUs by brands and categories. Just click and add to cart, review cart, and place order, payment on delivery. After getting order, an automated purchase order generated to our suppliers. Supplier confirm inventory for Rohim. Our picker collect from suppliers and deliver to Rohim store within 24 hours. And we collect payment from Rohim. If Rohim eligible, we offer pay later solution for him. We take average 6% on every sales. Rohim is super happy because he don't need to shut down his store anymore and get best price from Frio Shop platform. Now he able to earn 20% more than before. In Bangladesh, 97% retail transactions are executed through 5 million small retailers like Rohim. And the market worth almost $190 billion. It's a proven business model. There are lots of global comparable. Frio Shop playing role in asset-light model. We don't hold inventory. We act as an enabler. On the other hand, our competitor playing role in asset-heavy model, which actually costly and less flexible. For solving this problem, we have a great team with 160 people from fintech, supply chain, FMCG, and e-commerce. Myself, Fashikul, expertise in growth hacking and e-commerce marketing. I'm 3 times founders with 16 years experience. And my co-founder, Deepti Mondal, comes from telco background with 10 years experience. She expert on customer acquisition, retention, and customer success. Right now in our platform, we have 100 plus brands and suppliers, 20,000 retailers like Rohim. You'll be happy to know that 38% among them place order once in a week. I'm proud to announce that we generate $4 million GMV per month, and we are growing 10% week on week. And our current monthly revenue is 200,000 and it's growing. Now we're looking for $5 million to support more small retail shops to fulfill their demand, enhance their process, improve their supply chain, and also inclusion the financials. I'm here to share more about our startups. Let's set a time to share more how we digitalize and empower small retailers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ashikul and Frio Shop. Again, for those of you online, please click that button. Those in the house, please indicate your relative interest. And while you are doing so, our next startup slides are starting to come up. So for our second startup at Orbit 2 Demo Day, please help me welcome Create.
Meet Shanti. Shanti lives in southern part of India in a place called Kumta. Shanti is a single mother with 2 children. She lost her husband in a serious accident on a construction site last year. Shanti has few employable skills, but no real job experience. Something what Shanti is really good at is making things with her hand. Shanti was taught from her father when she was young, a traditional artwork in India using rosewood. Shanti uses these rosewoods and sells these artworks to an agent who then picks up these rosewoods at $1 per piece. Shanti knows these products are of far more worth in the international markets. Now, this is something which she believes and understands that the larger e-commerce platforms do not entertain artisans and creators like Shanti because she has no required documents. They also cannot penetrate the rural markets because delivery is an issue. Thus, Shanti is left with selling these products only to an agent and most importantly at $1 per piece. Now, this is where we come in. We are Create, India's largest dedicated marketplace for artisans and creators like Shanti. And I'll tell you how it works for artisans like Shanti. Shanti calls up a Create representative who then helps her in onboarding quickly and set up her own store, which thus makes Shanti a verified seller on our platform in less than 2 minutes. Now, once the store is set up live on the platform, a buyer makes a purchase, which is usually a personalizable product on the platform. A notification is sent to Shanti through SMS, if she's not tech savvy, WhatsApp, email, and also a seller app. Shanti then gets a notification to accept the order. Once she accepts the order, she starts making these customizable products. These products are then ready to be picked up. Shanti fills in where this has to be picked up from and is notified to the fulfillment partner with whom we have tied up. The product is then picked up from the place and delivered to the customer, who is then satisfied with the product delivery. Customer makes the payment. We charge 15% commission on every sale that happens. A real-time payout is then issued to the seller, barring the commission, and Shanti is now happy with the payout. She can control more pricing and most importantly, connect to the consumers directly. Like Shanti, there are 7 million registered artisans in India with over 200 million artisans already recognized in India. With this, the global handicrafts market is at a staggering $680 billion as on today, which is estimated to grow up to $1.2 trillion in the next 5 years. Create is India's largest marketplace, dedicated for such artisans like Shanti and other creators. Now, there are other platforms also in the similar space, but we are the only ones offering no documentation and most importantly, real-time payouts to the seller. I am Vittal, a 2-time founder with my previous exit through an acquisition in Germany. I have handled multi-million-dollar accounts through KPMG and Bosch Consulting. Prior to this, I have also had my own startup, as mentioned. So I am backed by my stellar team who are entrepreneurs themselves. Sachin comes in with creative entrepreneurship skills. Sunaina comes with ex-Amazon. She has handled catalogs with over 100,000 products and more, handled larger teams. Jeffrey has been looking after sales, has grown sales by 5 times in the last 12 months. We are backed by SOSV, We Founder Circle, the largest angel network in India. Elena Investments, our early backers, and Expert Dojo, and some of the marquee angel investors who are partners at the big 4 organizations. So far, we have onboarded now a little over 23,000 artisans and creators, out of which a whopping 70% of them have made at least one sale through the product, through the platform. We have over 260,000 buyers, and we have a strong retention rate of 56% month on month. We have grown 12% month on month in the last 6 months, and very recently we hit $300,000. We are currently raising $3 million, out of which 50% is already committed. If you believe the next Etsy is from India and can empower 1 million artisans in India, and most importantly, if you want to see the product what Shanti makes, hit me up at the booth there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Vital and Create. Again, those of you online, please ping that button. Those of you here in the audience, if you could, if you haven't already, scan that QR code and indicate your relative interest. All right, thank you again, Create. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our next startup, Nandi Labs.
Let me introduce you to Burner Boy. He's an African pop singer that lives in Nigeria, but he has international recording contracts and he's racked up 30 million followers across social media and streaming platforms. His music has 4 billion streams and has generated $60 million for music labels and the streaming platforms, but he only sees a tiny fraction of those profits from the streams on Spotify and YouTube. So he resorts to concerts and touring, right? And he can even fill up Madison Square Garden, but his fans are global, touring is grueling, and even if he did, he can't reach all of his fans. But even if he could reach all of his fans through touring, he still wouldn't be able to untap the revenue from the bulk of his fans across Africa because he doesn't have the infrastructure tools to plug into the hundreds of African payment platforms. So he tapped Nandi. At Nandi, we work with African creators, media companies, and independent artists like Burner Boy to balance the scales in their favor, right? So we do this by helping them make more money, by providing online fan communities that has one tool to plug into all of Africa's payment providers. We also help him distribute content online using distribute exclusive content to his fans using the blockchain to prevent piracy. And then we also help him get more revenue through shared reward programs where corporates and brands sponsor them to get in touch with his fans. Now, when those fans come on to our platform for that exclusive content, they get reward tokens for every engagement that they do. They exchange those reward tokens for mobile airtime, mobile data, music, art, and the like. Let me show you how it works. So Burner Boy, he already is an approved account, so he just logs in. When he gets to the platform, he enters his details and he navigates to his community page. And he wants to add more content to distribute to his fans. He scrolls down on his community page and he adds the content. He decides whether he wants to add one piece or one item. He uploads the item, scrolls down, and he adds it to his community page. Now it's live. He wants to check that his page actually has the content on it and it looks the way he wants. He sees it's there, he confirms. Now he's ready to share it to his community. So he goes to the Nandi Hub. he clicks to grab that Nandi link and share it on his Instagram. Now, his fans, once they engage with this Instagram link, they visit his community. They see his community page and they see all the content from their favorite artists that they want to get. So they join the community. They enter in their details. This allows them to claim his community pass. They claim it, they see the content. There's still some behind a paywall, so they decide to buy it. They're going to use their local payment card from Africa to enter, or their crypto wallet. They enter in those details. Now they're using their card, their local cards. They put in their payment details, their billing information, and now they have access to this premium content from their favorite artists. They scroll down and they see it's there. Now, Burna Boy, after that transaction, the money is instantly in his wallet. He can cash out in Naira, crypto, or whatever currency of his choice that we provide. The fans, they get sponsored rewards and they can claim it on our rewards marketplace. So now when the brands sponsor the rewards, the fan comes in, they do they fill in the requirements of the brand, they enter in their details. Now they've earned their reward. They have a nice piece of art. Nandi makes money from co-developed projects like these and from brands that want to show up for these most engaged fan base. We take a 10% margin on the rewards that are distributed to the fans, and we make 10% on transaction fees for the exclusive content distributed on our platform. With Nandi, African creators can earn their fair share because they can communicate and build out their fan communities, distribute exclusive content, and they can connect fans to become Africa's consumer, to become new consumers for Africa's brands. This market is a $20 billion African digital content market, and it's growing rapidly. Afrobeats, West Africa's pop music, is the fastest growing genre on streaming platforms. Nollywood, Nigeria's movie industry, is the second largest movie producing region in the world. Now, while the art is produced in Africa, 70% of the revenue is from global audiences. And Nandi, we're tailored to connect African creators to their fans because we provide localized payments in the key African markets, and we're the only platform that provides tailored consumer rewards. And my team is ready to take on this amazing opportunity. I'm Chinedu Onekwe. As an investment banker across Africa, I generated over $4 billion in transactions. As a founder, I had a startup, a fintech in Nigeria. I scaled it to 13 regional countries, and I had a successful exit for my investors. As a creative producer and investor, I invested in over 16 global creative startups. And while I was also producing art festivals, films, and plays. My co-founder, Jabolu Ayodele, he was an investment banker as well. He in technology, media, and entertainment. He did $30 billion in transactions, and then he went to work for Viacom Africa as an early employee. He helped them build out their marquee brands of BET, MTV, and Nickelodeon, helping them increase their subscriber count by 10 times. And we, since launching in last October, we've signed on Sony Music Africa, the largest record label in Africa with over 500 million annual streams and over 500 million annual streams. And we're going to be their only community monetization platform for their entire roster of artists, including Burna Boy. We signed up the country of the Bahamas so that they can digitize their carnival art. And then they're going to build a digital community that will provide culture and tourism for their 2 million annual visitors. And then we have signed up the Guardian Nigeria, one of Nigeria's national papers that has over 10 million monthly online readers. And we're going to provide them a digital community that will digitize their daily paper and distribute it to their members with exclusive premium content. And we're backed by leading emerging market investors, SOSV, Florey Ventures. We're advised by celebrity musicians like M.I. Baga and producers like Viola Alabi. And we're raising $1.5 million so that to enable Africa's creators, media companies, and independent artists to get their fair share. Now, if you want to connect creators, fans, and brands into the global destination for Africa's digital content, get in touch. I'm in the back.
Okay, thank you again, Chinadu and Nandi Labs. For those of you online, please indicate your interest. Again, if you're in the room and you haven't done so, scan those QR codes and let us know your interest. Okay, without further ado, let's get to our next startup. I would like to welcome to the stage, Fulfilly.
Meet Priya. Priya is from Chennai, India. Priya is a single mother of 4 children, and Priya freelances as a delivery driver with a couple of local businesses. Priya earns $8 per day, but she spends on fuel, she spends on her repairs, and spends on parking. Priya's left with $3.20 US per day. And on top of this, she spends long hours on servicing her vehicle, which takes up a lot of time, which she could spend on doing more deliveries. Priya does not know how to access high-paying companies, and she's stuck with lower-paying companies. So poor Priya works 15 hours a day, 6 days a week in the heat, and hardly takes any money back home to her family. We are Fulfilly. We are a delivery solutions platform for tier 1 and tier 3 and tier 2 cities in India. We provide a fleet of electric tuk-tuks, electric bikes, electric vans, and service stations to delivery drivers like Priya. And we also provide an inexpensive and easy to integrate delivery solutions platform for small and medium businesses, which brings down their cost by 40%. Delivery drivers like Priya spend 50% less and improve their services, and businesses instantly get a state-of-the-art delivery fleet. Let me show you how it works. Priya downloads the Fulfilly app and enters her information. She's approved through a simple and efficient KYC process. Priya then picks up a vehicle from her hub within 24 hours. Priya then chooses from the numerous jobs that we have on our platform, which are optimized for her based on her location and distance. Priya immediately starts earning by choosing a delivery job. If Priya needs to charge her vehicles, she visits one of our nearest charging stations. If Priya needs to service her vehicles, Fulfilly sends a technician to her location, or she visits one of our charging stations. If Priya doesn't like a particular job, no problem. She can choose from one of the numerous customers that we have, like Big Basket, Amazon, and any of the numerous small and medium businesses that we have. Small and medium businesses who can't afford the technology subscribe to us on a monthly basis and access our pool of drivers. This allows them to compete with enterprise segment customers. Delivery businesses on Fulfilly's platform get a state-of-the-art delivery fleet. Delivery riders like Priya earn 2 times as much as what they would delivering just for a couple of businesses. The total market size for logistics in India is $250 billion. The total addressable market for Fulfilly is $12 billion spread across 5 million drivers just like Priya. 40% lower costs, 40% lesser emissions. Our fleet of electric vehicles generates far lower emissions and costs compared to gas-powered vehicles. Delivery drivers like Priya earn 2 times more than what they would due to our efficient hyperlocal mapping, hubs, and she spends 50% less overheads and takes more money back home to her family. I'm Ashok. I'm the co-founder and CEO here at Fulfilly. I've worked with NASDAQ-listed companies like Freshworks and Make My Trip, handling GTM teams. I've hit targets of up to 8.5 million US dollars per year. And I've got co-founders such as Ranjit. Ranjit is a logistics veteran with 10 plus years of experience. And he led his last startup to a successful exit. He's also got experience with companies like Delivery and TCS. My co-founder and CTO, Prem, is from the Amazon and McKinsey's of the world. And he has developed my tech stack from scratch. And he's worked on the SageMaker tool, and he's also been part of the Audible podcast team at Amazon. My last co-founder, Balaji, again, is an out-and-out logistics guy. He has worked with companies like NinjaCart and Navta Route Transport, and he's onboarded 250 businesses on a monthly basis with a 95% retention rate. We are employing safe and environmentally friendly charging, battery swapping, and service stations. We have grown to around 350 drivers across Chennai with a 5% churn rate, which is far lower than the industry average of 20%. We have gone to 350 vehicles, and it's spread across multiple cities in Tamil Nadu right now in India. We have also been subscribed by 250 small and medium businesses. And we work with marquee customers like Delivery, Amazon, Tata Big Basket, and Fire Foods India. We're doing around 4,000 daily deliveries, 30% month-on-month growth. 90% of our transactions from our customers are repeat. And I'm very proud to announce that we're doing $60,000 of monthly revenue. Again, a flat 30% month-on-month growth. And we are here to raise $2 million. We are empowering delivery personnel like Priya. We are allowing small and medium businesses to compete with enterprise segment companies. Lower costs, lower emissions. If you're interested in green mobility, you want to make a change for the planet, hit me up at the booth over there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ashok and Fulfilly. Again, for those of us who are online, feel free to indicate your relative interest in that button that pops up in the room. Get ready to submit because we're coming up to our last startup. So without further ado, please help me welcome to the stage, New Campus.
Jaka is from Indonesia. He's the head of engineering at one of the fastest growing fintech companies in Southeast Asia. He's under a lot of pressure to deliver and recently grew his team from 8 to 20 engineers. With a new headcount, he needs some of his key hires to step into management role. But becoming a manager doesn't happen overnight, and not everyone delivers. Jaka starts to receive complaints, and he's finding himself spending more and more time micromanaging and putting out people fires. So he goes to HR, but they're way too busy focusing on recruitment and setting up payroll. He searches for leadership development programs online, but they're either too costly or most of the content caters for the US market. Jaka needs to set his people up for success. He can't do it alone. And in this hiring market, it's going to be even more expensive to recruit and retrain. Thankfully, Jaka has New Campus. New Campus reinvents management training for the modern organization in Southeast Asia. Let me show you how it works. Jaka signs his team up to New Campus and purchases annual licenses for each of his management team to have access to our platform. His team joins live online 4-week sprints that focus on key skills like delegation, coaching, providing impactful one-on-ones. They learn online with a global community of other managers from different industries and different organizations. And they get to practice new techniques and frameworks in a safe and inspiring environment. Jaka sees the impact immediately. His team is more autonomous, they're making decisions with confidence, and more importantly, they're giving him room to move forward. Half of his team that goes through the New Campus platform gets promoted within the first 2 months. There's over 600 growing companies each year that raise venture capital. 4% of them raise over 50 million US dollars. That's over 250 young leaders that we can be upskilling each year. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are over 7,000 companies and over 12 million young leaders that we can be upskilling at the average age of 33 years old. The leadership development space is dominated by traditional business schools and local trainers that are outdated, they're expensive, and way too theoretical. New Campus is modern, New Campus is affordable, New Campus is practical. The management team has been building leadership programs and experiences for Southeast Asian tech companies for almost a decade. I'm Will, the co-founder head of school. I spent over the past 8 years building in the education landscape, the start of my career in management consulting. As I grew as an entrepreneur in the education space, I sold programs and platforms to over 40 of the top universities in Southeast Asia, in China, and the Middle East. Faye, our COO, is a globally renowned future of work and edtech entrepreneur. She's built communities and partnerships with over 1,000 the top brands like Netflix and Gojek. She's also co-created over 100 courses that have been accredited worldwide. Eddie, our head of product, has built live learning platforms that have scaled to over 15,000 students. And on the side, he also advises in Singapore, Dubai, and Malta government on education reform and transformation. And Michelle, our creative director, has built a brand that has inspired over 2,000 New Campus alumni to share their transformational journey with us. In her previous life, she's worked with brands like LVMH and Xiaomi across the US and in China. We've trained managers from over 400 of the most exciting tech companies in Southeast Asia, like Bukalapak, Carousel, One Championship. 40% of managers that go through our platform get promoted in the first 2 months. This year, we tripled our revenue to $1.1 million US at a 92% margin on our core product. We're now able to close 15 new clients every 2 weeks with our sales flywheel. We're raising a $5 million US Series A round to grow our customer success team to handle all the business that's coming our way. But we also want to dominate the management training space in Southeast Asia by capturing 40% of the logos by the end of next year. If you want to back the future leaders of Southeast Asia, the next generation of companies, or you need some team members to be trained, I'm Will, Eddie's at the back. I'd love to have a conversation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Will and New Campus. By now, I hope you all know the drill. Respond online. For those of you who have been following us in person here, please submit now that you've done all of those different indications from the QR code so we can capture your interest. This concludes our live streaming portion on Facebook and YouTube. For those of you here in Singapore, we are ready to start the networking, so let's have a drink. Thank you.
I won't wait this time. No, not now, not again, not much longer. Every wayword's my mind all night. It's so hard not to ponder. Let's make it last forever, 'cause the night's still young. It's true, I feel the pressure every time you're gone. As long as we're together, this moment lasts forever. As long as we're together, this moment lasts forever. And what would she say with my heart be torn? Maybe the same helps to keep her warm. Maybe she's too shy to comment. 21 and too hard to call it. Let's make it last forever, 'cause the night's still